Hello again. Okay, so this is going to be my last video on politics for a while. I want to talk about the meltdowns. Now, there were a lot of post-election meltdowns that went on, but there are a lot of pre-election meltdowns too. So, in fact, I'd go so far as to say that a lot of the DNC commercials, ads, claims were meltdown. I mean, just the whole he's a Nazi, he's a fascist, etc., was largely meltdown. They didn't try to back it up with anything. They just yelled out words that they heard in history class years ago and apparently didn't hear them in context properly. So they didn't use them in context properly. So, like I said, I mentioned in my last video that the Harris campaign was largely just a not DEI thing. That's all they had. You have to vote for her because she's a black woman. And it was also he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, he's a racist, etc. And that in itself, I mean, it was like their entire campaign strategy was meltdown itself. Not a proper campaign, if you want to say what a proper campaign is. Or it didn't seem like a proper campaign, at least. Let's say that much, because, like I said, not my place to define what is a proper campaign, but it didn't seem like a campaign. Now there were other people, going on to their TikTok and putting ads, or not ads, but videos about how terrible things are going to be when Trump gets in power. And one guy, don't know what he saw. Must have watched some movie somewhere, old time movie, about all the bad things that were going to happen, and Now, conservatives talk about 1984, and we're called conspiracy theorists if we say it looks like it's happening. This guy was on a full 1984 meltdown. Don't discuss politics with anyone if Trump wins, because they're going to tell everyone. It's like the secret police here. Or the kid spies, as it was in 1984. And anyone who wants to discuss politics with you, just they're setting you up, or they're trying to find out where you're at so they can put your name on a list. And I mean, that's where the guy was going with this thing. I mean, we've had 4 years of bad Biden politics, and conservatives were happy to say about it, even though we had more reason to believe that our name would go on a list if we said anything. I say that because, we've got the whole deal where social media was actually asked to censor people. They didn't call it censoring, but that's pretty much what it was. And so that was one step closer to your name going on a list than anything that the Republicans have done in the past decade or so. Definitely anything Trump has done. There's no reason to believe Trump's building a list of common citizens. His political enemies, he has a list of. But then again, all politicians have a list of their political enemies. That's to be expected. But the idea that if you say you don't like him, after the inauguration, masked men or, jackbooted men are going to kick in your door and arrest you, that's conspiracy theory. Far more so than anything that the Republicans have put out in the past, my lifetime, actually. So there was that meltdown. The guy was telling people to learn to use guns, but buy a gun, learn to use it. And of course, the whole learn to use it thing with guns, people are lazy. Half of them won't learn to use it. So if we have a bunch of Democrats accidentally shooting themselves or their friends or whatever because they listened to this guy, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. I don't want that to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did start happening. Of course, we also had the post-election meltdowns, and there's the girl who spit in her phone because her father voted Trump, and she was mad. So, Dad, she's talking on her phone, and she's spitting on it. Supposedly, I don't know. Not a psychologist, so I don't know. I can't just explain crazy behavior, but he apparently the phone was some sort of surrogate for her father. I guess was what she was going for, or not 100% sure about that. Like I said, not used to dealing with crazy people that much, or at least not people that crazy. Now, I don't know what the big thing about people making videos in their car. And this has been going on, I don't know, for a while now. But there are a lot of videos of people in their car. For some reason, I don't know. This is my private safe space where the nasty Republicans can't get to me, and I'm gonna come out to my car and make a video, and that way, the can't be censored by the Republicans because Republicans aren't the ones who've been censoring people for the past 4 years. But again, not going to go down that rabbit hole again. Actually, I'll probably go down that rabbit hole several times this video. People sitting in the passenger seat making videos, which I guess at least they aren't driving while they make the videos, so that's a good thing, I guess. But at the same time, I'm supposed to believe this is real. It's like, I was driving down the road and I heard on the radio this happened, and I've got to say my comment, give my opinion of it. So I pulled over and I switched over to the passenger seat and started talking. I don't believe it. But that seems to be what they're trying to do with this whole make the video in your car. It's sort of I heard this on the car radio, and so I want to comment on it. I mean, that's the only explanation I can think of that would explain the whole video in the car thing that's going on. But a lot of people are making videos in their car. I mean, some of them, it's obvious that they ran out to their car to make the video. They weren't driving down the street. You can see out the car window they're in their garage. But there were a lot of meltdown videos made from people's cars. Again, I don't get it. I don't understand crazy people, so I don't get it. Of course, the celebrities came out and made their meltdowns. Sunny Holston wasn't enough to go down the whole DEI rabbit hole with her, but after saying that Trump won because of racism, she then felt necessary to start breaking down the voters by demographics. Just to prove it, and in so doing, female Hispanics voted for Kamala, male Hispanics voted for Trump. Because, stereotypically speaking, Hispanic men treat women as property. And so they would love Trump. Actually, there are a lot of Hispanic men who love their wives and treat women with respect. But if you're a racist like Sunny Holston appears to be, and I'm going to come out and say that, then it's okay to say that all male Hispanics are chauvinists. Educated white women. That's when she goes further down the whole weird DEI racism crazy person rabbit hole. Educated white people voted for Kamala. Uneducated white women voted for Trump. Now, they have exit polls. I'll and they will ask people, who did you vote for? And some people answer. And they, of course, they're talking to someone, so they know, okay, this person is this race, this person is that race. I don't think they ask people what their education level is in exit polls. They might. I don't think they do. So, who did you vote for? Notice you're a white woman. Are you smart? Did you go to college? Just wanted to get that information so Sunny can make her claims on TV. I don't think that happens in real life. I could be wrong. I don't think it happens. So that's pretty much it. This was again, shorter video, but one thing I nearly forgot. There were two things: fake news, and this is fake news on the part of conservatives. So every year before the election, Hollywood turns around and just people start saying we're going to move if so and so gets voted in, and every year after so and so gets voted in, or on the elections where so and so gets voted in, they do not move. We had two people move this year. One of them, don't know who she is. She's on one of those like Real Housewife shows, which I don't watch, so I don't know her name. Apparently, if you read the article, she had three houses: one in the United States, one in Mexico, and one in Spain. She's moved around to. She's been moving around to all of them. For the past 5 or 6 months, she's been living outside the country. And after the election, she just said, "No, I'm not going back." Now, in this case, yes, she's apparently going to sell her American home. But it's not like she suddenly decided, well, I'm going to move because Trump won. She'd been living outside the country for a few months anyway, just decided not to go back. So is that really I'm going to flee the country if he gets voted in? I mean, that might have been one of the contributing factors, but, is that to the same extent that, or not Democrats, but conservatives have been saying, oh, these people are moving out of the country? Does that really count? And I'd say probably not, because like I said, she hadn't been living in the country for a while. She just decided she's not coming back. The other, Ellen DeGeneres, moved to England. Apparently, she was negotiating buying a house there for 2 or 3 months before the election, so this wasn't a matter of if Trump wins, I'm moving. It was she was planning on moving anyway. It just happened the moving date came after the election. Did the election have anything to do with her decision to move? Only if she knew Trump was going to win. Because otherwise, if there's a chance, or she believed that Harris Waltz would be in the White House, would she have not decided to move? Probably not. I mean, she was probably planning on moving anyway, and so the election itself had no decision on that, or no bearing on her decision, I would say. So, but there are people coming out saying Ellen's moving because Trump got in the White House, and the answer is no. She was buying a house before the election. She probably believed that Harris Waltz would win. Don't know that for a fact, but I mean it makes sense because a lot of people believe he had a chance. So I'm going to say that's fake news. When conservatives want to turn around and say, look, these people had such a meltdown that they left the country. In those two cases, nah. Not gonna say that's what happened. I will say, all the people who do say they will move out of the country if someone wins never end up doing so. And actually this year I never heard of anyone actually making that claim. So that's sort of I guess after a couple decades of people calling their bluff or whatever, maybe in some cases they might have realized that, hey, if I say I'm going to leave, people are actually going to vote for the guy because, I don't know. I would consider that in some cases I would consider that a reason for voting for someone. Just, I don't like the guy, but so-and-so is going to leave the country if I vote him in. Okay. I'm joking there. That's not a good reason to vote for anyone. But at the same time, saying you're going to move, your opinion doesn't matter to me. So it's almost something to think about, at least. Anyway, off topic, which was Meltdowns, which I pretty much said, like I said, I could go after example after example after example. I've given pretty much the top ones. I'm sure there are more. I've seen more, actually. So that's it. Like I said, this is going to be my last political video for a while. I'll get back to my old talking about science fiction and science and history and stuff like that. And have a nice day.